From the personal letters of Carrington Carstairs, June 30th, 1908. My dearest Anastasia, if you are reading this letter, then the recent events in Russia will have spelt my doom. I cannot go into the details further here, but you've always known that I'm a man of eclectic interests and certain occult knowledges. I had hoped I would be able to take you to one side and introduce you to the more secret and arcane methods that have been revealed unto me by those guides I have whispered to you of. Sadly, that moment did not come. I therefore leave these journals and those books that you will find in the summer house. I advise you to read them with great caution. They will sound like the ramblings of a madman, but I trust you, my child, as I always trust your very dear mother, the loss of whom to me has been heavy upon my soul. But I digress. The difficulty of writing one's final thoughts is that they can escape one so easily, especially when so much is at stake, so much at risk, and so to my purpose. You will find in the summer house the necessary items to continue my work. That nincompoop of a brother of mine, forgive me, he is your father after all, would be the worst person I could choose to hand these precious legacies onto. Your mother, bless her, would have understood far better. She was always so beautiful, rare, and strange of that Eastern world. You know that some secrets have been divulged, but what I will show you in those documents will amaze, confound, possibly drive you to the very edge of your reason. But you must dig further. You must not give up, Anastasia. You have the right temperament. You have the brilliance of your mother's wit, and thankfully some of the line of the Carstairs that is able to hold great power within, such as I have done. Now I tell you this, in strictest confidence. Do not reveal the contents of this letter to anyone. You will be considered mad, and it will be taken from you, and the secrets that it will lead towards will be lost forever. I trust that you will find the path. Go to Mattawamkeag. See what I was working upon. See the strange location that it exists in and outside of, upon the very edge of an ancient burial ground, the secrets of which are lost, it is sad to report. Try as I might, I cannot find the right individual who will lead me towards the secrets of what is held within that ground. I am forbidden from entering it, and that will become clear to you as you progress forwards in your own studies. For you must take up conversation with the angels that visit that wonderful house in the woods. You must converse with them as I did. I sound as if I am entrenched in the deepest of lunacy, and lunacy perhaps it is, for they understand the moon and the stars in a way that you and I can only dream of. They will offer you their ale, a sort of mead that sings of the cosmos. You must sup of it. You must partake of their trials, and then you will have the same luck that I am famous for. They will give you glimpses through their marvels of technology into worlds beyond worlds, of times before time. It was no accident that I knew how to buy up the railway land. They told me to do it. They knew that the Iron Horse was coming. They said that they had stolen the visions from other races who they had studied, the Yithians, the secrets of which you will begin to understand the further. You are perfectly placed within your interests in the human mind to carry this deeper and farther than I have reached. But fear not, my dearest Anastasia. I will be close upon your shoulder, and with luck I may yet return. But I must go. They are coming for me. I know that my time has been served. I will live on, Anastasia. You will understand how, over time. There will come a moment. You will find the right man or woman who will lead you into the burial ground, and then you will be able to repay the favors. All we have to do is go where the Mygo cannot. Those angelic visitors, even they are bound by the one that dwells deep within the graveyard. It is like a walking god. Do not converse with it. Do not take up truck with it. Trust no one in the city or the village. His reach is farther than I ever dreamed of. Those that carry the blue eyes, do not trust them. Oh, they will say that they are doing good for man, but all they are doing is serving an abhorrent and ancient hybrid race. They are not men, they're demons. No, the Mygo are more like us. They simply want to investigate, to understand, to use science, to reach into the very teeth of the mind and comprehend all that lies before us. I must go. There is a knocking at the door. With best wishes, your beloved uncle, Carrington Carstairs.
The Apocalypse Players present The House in the Woods by Gary Pilkington. A Call of Cthulhu scenario, adapted for 7th edition by Joseph Chant. Copyright Grenadier Models and Chaosium. Starring Dan Wheeler as Assistant Professor Flight Lieutenant Charles Chuck Lohman. Jeany Spark as Female Postmaster Natasha Rolyova. Danann McAleer as local lobster mogul and supplier Allagash Bunyan. And Joseph Chance as everybody and everything else.
So Rolyova collapses, but also sort of she spasms very, very fast, very, very fast, and she's still spasming, and then she stops very still, but she's breathing. There's a strange light from outside as Allagash. Allagash, you're still in control of your functions. You've not been taken over by anything. But you do have this very strong sense that outside
I do, yeah.
is this... but Lohman, I think the agency is with you.
I don't want to let my previous companions die for no reason. So I think as soon as I see her fitting, I'm going to pull out
Oh, she stops. She stops.
Sort of,
you don't need to stop her.
But even so, I want to just as I pass her, maybe I'd take out a sort of wooden wedge, like one of the things I used to
nice
chip in, when I'm using the ground to set another angling rod, so it's got a couple of points on it. I just want to put one of those between her teeth.
Yeah, it's like the cold action of a fisherman.
I've seen.
Yeah,
exactly. But I've seen fish and humans. Well, not fish, but I've seen humans lose their teeth by fucking fitting. So my attention's elsewhere, but I just want to.
I think while that's happening, happening, I think Lohman has had quite a lot of agency throughout this last 5 minutes. So, what's he been up to?
So he's had this weird experience with suddenly gaining this sort of knowledge or insight into the fact that the spores in the rat was protecting something beyond the nest and something beyond that, and then the communication with Professor Winters. I would like to. I feel like I haven't quite finalised my thoughts.
There's a crawl space beyond the nest.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that, but what I'm thinking is, I'm still not fully abreast of what's going on, and I would like to just gain a little bit more knowledge before I start crawling in there. So maybe... Okay, what I'd like to do, just for the sake of doing something, is I would like to do an engineering roll, because I've got some engineering, to try and ascertain whether this crawl space has been... is part of the original cellar, or whether it's something that's been created recently, like tunneled away by the rats, or by whether this is just... Does that make sense?
Very much
Whether
so,
I can
yeah.
ascertain what I can ascertain about this space,
Yeah.
how safe it is structurally, what's created it, and I passed that engineering roll.
I think what you realise is that it's the oldest part of the house.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Okay.
That this came first from a cellar space that was dug, and it's like an abortive remnant of a first attempt at something, but you can see things down at the other end of the tunnel. One of which is a sort of, you've got your flashlight, so it's a grey cylinder. You can sort of see a grey cylinder with a stubby neck on, and what looks like a stopper. It's like a crude, almost like an earthenware bottle that looks a bit different.
Could I do a listen roll to see whether I can hear any more creatures crawling around?
You can't see anything or hear anything. You don't need to.
In that case, I would just head down there.
Yeah, so like it's not that far away. It's about 8 feet away. So it's just the length
Fine.
of you crawling in the last bit. It gets narrow as you get there. You can see Allagash sort of hovering at the bottom of the steps up. He's been sort of sorting out the unconscious figure of Natasha Rulyova, who seems to have had some kind of fit.
Is it reasonable to say that I'm reloading my Colt as I'm
I think it's reasonable to say that you reloaded it before you went in.
Fine. Thanks.
In that same sort of panicky moment where Rulyova was reloading her shotgun, you were reloading your gun. You only discharged 3 shots, right?
Well, 4 in the end. But
4
yeah.
in the end.
So,
That's true. That is true. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to do that because only two remaining. So so you've done that, and you've got your gun nearby, and you can see the smashed pieces of this kind of really interesting looking pottery that's ancient. It feels like it looks like it's really old. But one of these bottles of 4 seems to remain. There may even be the remnants of a kind of wooden box there.
what size is this bottle?
The
we're
bottle
talking about?
is about it's probably about a foot in height. It's like
Okay, so it's not
but it's,
vast
but
or tiny.
it's cylindrical up to the top, and then suddenly it stops off at the top and has a tiny, almost like kind of old-fashioned earthenware bottle, and yet different. Yeah, no, it's not tiny.
So there's some smashed bottles, and then there is one intact.
Your instinct tells you
Does it
that
have
the
a
others have possibly decayed. This is also the absolute centre of the sweet smell. It's a very strange, soporific, odd odour. You've never smelled anything like it. Could you give me a Cthulhu Mythos check?
Yeah, happily. No, it's a terrible fail.
Yeah. So you gain 1 Cthulhu Mythos, and
Oh.
you lose 1 permanent sanity.
Okay.
The intensity of the smell is it's wildly otherworldly. It's really musky, but it's fresh. It's citrusy, but it's like kind of the heaviest jasmine.
Pissed on a wedding cake.
It's like
It's that
someone.
CK1.
It's like someone's pissed on a wedding cake and then doused themselves in CK1 and then set themselves on fire.
That smells quite fit.
Otherwise known as
The MacAleer.
a morning,
breakfast.
a MacAleer breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. So sorry. One more question before.
No, we will get back. It's fine.
Is there the bottle that's intact? Am I now in touching distance?
Yes. Yeah, very much.
Does it have a stopper in it?
Yes, it does. It's a waxed stopper.
Fine. And I'm crawling. Am I? It's a proper crawl space.
You've crawled to that point, and you could just reach out and get it, or you could just leave it. You've passed the nest, which is a sort of scooped out hole in the side of the little tunnel.
Is there anything beyond, or is this the end?
That's it. That's the end. It really is the limit of the tunnel and the crawl space. So while he's thinking there, I think I'll just cut back to Allagash is on the steps, and there's a sense of light and a sense of movement outside, very briefly.
Yeah.
But it's past.
Okay.
And there hasn't been anything since, and the light is gone.
So in that case, if I'm still on my way up the stairs, and the immediacy of that moment has gone, what I'm going to do?
Well, I think it's returned. The immediacy went when you went back to the woman prostrate on the floor, but now the immediacy was returned. You could just go straight back out. Throw the doors open.
In which case, I'm going to test it all against my strength or whatever you choose, but I'm going to pick her up and carry her upstairs.
Well, yeah, no, you can do that. That's fine. What's your strength?
65. It's a pretty good strength.
Yeah, it's strong. And what's your power?
For like a 62-year-old. Power is 60.
Yeah, okay, so solid. Yeah, it's all well above average.
Yeah.
So yeah, you firemen's lift her. You've got the rifle. You throw the doors open. No stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, shoulder the doors open.
Shoulder the doors open.
Also, to be clear, I left my rifle leaning against the thing. I've got the submachine gun.
Yeah, sorry, submachine gun.
In one hand now.
You got the submachine gun.
It's a Thompson, to be clear.
I mean, it's a pretty great shot. Kind of, I feel like it's Ash versus The Walking Dead kind of style.
Totally.
It's like poof, this thing comes out and he comes out, and you hear a hello.
What?
Where do I hear that from? Am I up at the?
You hear that from the front.
Yeah.
So you hear that too, downstairs in the root cellar, Loman.
I hear someone say hello.
You hear it in this kind of strange voice. You hear, hello.
My immediate thought is there anywhere on the porch where there's like a rocking chair or anything like that?
At the front, yes, there is a chair on the front.
Yeah.
But you're at the back. But you're at the back.
Ah, of course. Now I've got her out of the house, I want to lower Natasha maybe onto the steps up to the back porch.
Yeah, you could kind of tuck her into the back porch area.
Yeah, and just call out, hello.
Hello, who is that?
Is that Papa Lazarou? You're my wife now. No.
Come round the front.
Okay. Just give it a minute.
It's me.
Who are you?
Winter.
It's Winter, huh? As soon as I hear it's Winter,
Jeremy.
I'm like double checking the barrel, making sure it's all like loaded up. I'm just gonna walk around the side, but I'm gonna do a little arc, so I'm closer to the trees.
As you do the arc, can you give me a spot hidden?
Yeah, I'd love to.
What's Loman doing while that's happening? While this dying roll happens?
Well, first question is, I hear this voice.
He's heard everything. He can hear it all.
Is it obvious? I mean, maybe this is a daft question, but is it obvious that it is a physical voice from a place? It's not like coming out of the ether. It sounds like
it's a physical voice from a place.
A weird voice, but sounds like someone speaking from up in the house.
I failed my spot hidden. Just so you know.
Failed it. And you hear,
yeah.
I've been very unwell.
Christ.
Tonsillitis.
I'm taking the bottle.
Yeah. So you put your hand on it, and this intense cold passes through into your palm.
Oh fuck.
And as it travels up your arm, you get this really weird sensation of just what this tunnel is. You look back and you realise it's like about 30 foot long, this tunnel. But to you it felt like it was about 6 foot long. And could you give me a power check?
Fuck's sake, man, I even did an engineering roll.
Yeah.
Okay, power check.
Turns out engineers can go mad as well.
I passed.
Yeah, great. In which case you gain D6 Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
That's a 4.
And you lose 4 permanent sanity.
My Cthulhu mythos is now 20.
So that's 4 off your 99, and you lose 1 san.
Well, you see, it's not off 99, it's now off 83. Because I lost 15 permanent sanity.
Because of your...
My experience package.
So what's your mythos now?
It's now 20.
Holy shit. Well, would
Yeah.
you like to use your Cthulhu mythos now that you've gained another 4?
Right now?
Yeah. Because, I mean, that might be one way you might try to understand what it is you've just put your hands on.
Yeah, I think that would be useful. right now.
I didn't realise it was that high.
In all truth, I'd actually forgotten. Sorry.
Oh, I've rolled a 92, so no.
That's not a terrible thing. Not a fumble.
No.
Yes, in which case, you're not sure what this is, but it feels immensely powerful in your hand. And you begin to realise it's a tragic shame that these other 3 were smashed. But at the same time, there's all this going on up above. And within a few seconds, you find yourself, if it's fair to say, back out of the
Yes,
crawl space.
absolutely.
Yeah. And you're back in the root cellar. Meanwhile, Allagash is on the edge of... I'm going to say the closest edge of the house, heading back down towards the front. Unless you'd like to change that tactically.
No. I think that's fine. I don't think he's thinking particularly strategically. He just he wanted to stop Natasha from fitting to death, potentially.
Yeah, so she seems to be quite safe on the back step.
Yeah, I've also carried her out, as I said, so I may just lay her down. I think I'm going to lay her down flat, which isn't the best way.
I have her laid down in the back porch, in a relatively safe, enclosed space
totally.
by the back door. And I've got you sort of round the side of the house.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So you make your way along the side of the house, and you can hear movement, and then you can hear in the bushes this kind of and then fast moving running.
Buster!
It's a way off. You'd say it was past the car. Now, do you actually say that? Because you have passed your stealth check.
Oh, it's a moment of panic, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to retcon it with a power check, or would you like to say that you did just say Buster?
I might not say Buster. Our language is whistles, and whistles are less.
Nice.
Whistles could be coming from anywhere, you know. So, what I want to do is whistle. Let me just check. I have a 55 in animal calls, animal handling, animal calls.
Oh my god! Let's use that skill.
Since he's my dog,
I can only apologise that I didn't use it earlier.
Yeah, I kind of. Well,
it's almost like I forgot. It's like I forgot about the whole dog.
I know, right? Ridiculous. Never forget about a dog. So what I want to do is the whistle for home.
Perfect.
I want to send him home because I want him away from this place. Whatever's just happened, my mind's still. Send him home. Bring him home. In a fine vibrato whistle, I send him home. That's my hope. I want to basically whistle the whistle that I do for when we're out hunting, and I've caught a duck, and he goes and picks it up, and it's home, boy, home. A slight downturn on the end. And I'm going to roll that now. Yeah.
Done it?
3.
A
3.
A 3? 0, 3?
3 on a 55. A 0-3 on a 55.
Oh my god. So you hear this and that's all you get is a sort of intense high panting, which you think means running.
Yeah, I'm hoping means running.
Either that or crushed by tentacle. It's 50-50, you're not sure.
Oh, no.
But you begin to make your way round the house.
Yeah.
Confident that you've done probably the best whistle of your life.
That was fucking incredible.
In fact, actually, technically, that's under 5.
So that's an extreme success on your animal handling.
Buster handling.
I like
Not
it.
animal handling, it's buster handling.
Buster handling.
In fact, it's such a good role that all of the other animals in the nearby area go home as well.
I think it also gives you a cool, clean focus after all this spore effect on you.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to say that Loman, you hear this high whistle. It's such a clean, clear, lovely sound. It's like the call of a mountain goat herd. It's like a pastoral
wouldn't know.
moment of perfection.
I wouldn't know, I'm from Oklahoma.
Well, that's true. But maybe really over in your deep unconsciousness, you have a moment where you go, is something piercing through the black. Maybe that's the beginning of your return to consciousness.
Maybe.
Could be.
The high whistle of animal Ken.
That sounds like a lonesome cow herd out on the plains, whistling about what a beautiful morning it is, and being winked at by a little brown maverick.
I'll pick you out of it.
I literally don't know what to say, but I really want to keep that. So
That's the second little reference just for musical theatre fans.
it sounds like lyrics. Okay, good, nice. Oklahoma?
Yeah,
Okay.
but not really lyrics. Bastardized lyrics.
Bastardized lyrics, they're the best. So the heat is on. As you come round the corner of the house, there's a steely determination. You're hoping he got away. It sounds like Buster got away.
Yeah. I fucking hope so. Although I could probably do with his help now, ironically. But, well, he's home. Well, he's heading somewhere.
He's better off out of it.
Whereas you may be getting deeper and deeper into it. So you're working your way round to the front of the building now.
Are you going to go around and look at the individual
I am,
who's
yeah.
speaking?
I'm also going to keep my submachine gun leveled towards them, but I'm going to walk around and just, even before I can see them...
Are you stealthing or are you just walking?
I'm just going to walk, and I'm just going to, as I walk, I'm just going to start whistling.
So you, as you whistle and stroll around, you're confronted by an individual wearing a long summer coat and a broad-brimmed hat.
Oh, fuck off.
And a scarf.
Oh.
They're quite thick set. They don't look like the version that you saw last time. It's not the same person. Them. It. And it raises a gloved hand and says, "Hello! You've come looking for me!"
Can I recognise anything from their face, or is it impossible to tell from here?
You can see glasses on, and there's the pale face, maybe some beads of sweat.
But I'm not a fucking moron. I mean,
No,
someone saying,
it's quite dark.
Hello, you've come looking for me. That's not the person I'm looking for. As far as I'm concerned.
It could be Jeremy Winter. I don't think you've ever met him.
It could be, but I just don't believe it is. So
certainly your mind. I think in this moment in the film, your mind flashes back to conversation with Sarah Istis. He looked kind of unwell. It's like he wasn't.
Yeah.
Like he was sweating.
Right.
And then
right.
you think to Alice Devereaux back in the initial meeting.
Is there anything in the moonlight?
So...
Like, could I?
Oh, the moon is
up.
up.
Maybe get him to walk like 5 meters forward to get him into the lamplight or something.
How would you get him to do that?
Like, get a good look at his face.
How would you get him to
I want to say I've approached around the side of the house with the submachine gun. He's still looking at me. I just want to say, hey, what would I call him? Jeremy. Well, maybe I'll just say, hey, Jezza. You want to back up a couple of paces for me? I just want to see how you're looking there, my friend. I got plenty of medicine on me.
Could you give me a power check?
Yeah, I'd love to. I feel like it'll be an obtuse failure.
You can hear all of this, Loman.
Oh, 25. 25 on my power is 60.
So you feel a rushing intensity in your chest, of something inside you wanting you to make this easier for the thing in front of you. And that convinces you that you don't want to make it easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my instincts, you can't always trust your instincts. And I say, at that moment, I feel this pull, and I say, hey, good job, sir. Hey, when you move around to the right, we'll get you in the moonlight. We'll get a nice shot of you.
Of course. Loman, what are you doing?
So, I'm still in the cellar at this point, right?
But you're I'm going to put you at the base of the steps.
Yeah.
At a quick dash, you can be out of there and to the left or the right of the house.
I'd like to be out of there and dash around. If I'm aware of which way, maybe
you get the strong sensation because of the spores. You get the strong sensation that he's off left.
Okay, well, I would like to go I would like to go around the other side of the house to
East
Allagash.
side. Yeah.
And also, I would like to see if the spores connect me to this other person. Is there a connection through the spores to this other person?
Well, first of all, can you give me a spot hidden as you come around that side of the house?
Of course.
As you're thinking, these spores, what are they?
I failed that spot hidden.
So I think you've got to the very limit of where you think you would be heard, sort of crashing around in the back of the house.
Yeah.
And you naturally slow. So you've got a choice to go stealthily and carry on thinking, or you could just think this and walk round. Which would it be? While Bunyan is there getting the guy sort of moving over slowly, and you can hear him saying, "Of course, just 1 minute. Bring me the sword. We've got to get to the chopper." He doesn't say those
stealthily.
Yeah, you're gonna stealth it.
Yeah.
So I do a spot hidden.
So that's a stealth roll, is it?
Yeah. But if you roll stealth,
my stealth's not very good.
What was Bunyan's question?
I was just saying, shall I roll a spot hidden to see if I see him stealthing it?
Not yet. You could actually give me a listen roll.
Okay.
It doesn't look good for Loman.
My listener's shite, but
I failed my stealth roll, so I don't think you have any problem.
18 on a 20 listen.
So you hear something on the other side. You're not sure what. You can hear breathing and something on the other side. And as you're thinking, Loman, am I bonded to this? You're it's almost like your trachea begins to become warm. This bottle that you picked up, this flask, this cylinder. Is it in your hand or is it in your bag? Is it in your pocket?
I think it's in my pocket because I'm still trying to, as far as possible, do my
you're doing your
Scully.
And you're sort of
So I've pocketed the bottle.
You begin to realise that, although what you were thinking is, can I feel connected to the creature, thing, it, person, voice out to the front? That you question the legitimacy of. And that's when you realise there's one a lot closer in the trees. At that point...
Something I feel connected to.
You feel connected, but the spores feel connected. You don't feel personally connected. You feel like you control the spores, but the spores are in you, and you don't know when they're leaving. Bunyan, as this person sort of steps into the moonlight, you can see the sort of waxy pallor of the skin above the eyebrows, and these glasses are there, but they're sort of slightly on the wonk, and you can't see the mouth, and it's like a vaudevillian.
How far
and it says, is everything all right?
How far are we from the last like house or homestead we went past? We're a few
15 minutes
from there, right?
15 minutes from the Cappy's place.
And he's coming towards me with wonky eyeglasses, saying, "Hey, what's the fucking matter?
Is everything all right?" He's not coming towards you. He's just kind of gone in. He's tried to do what you've asked him to do. You feel the bond.
Go towards the. He's going towards the. Where's he going towards?
In the light. You asked. He's gone where you told him to go. Sort of in the light of the moon. So you can see him better.
Yeah. Okay. I sort of. I take a couple of steps towards him.
As you do that.
I sort of say.
As you do that, on the other side of the house, what does Loman do?
Do I get the sensation that these spores, which give me the connection, might give me any control over anything which I'm connected with. That I might be able to attempt some kind of...
You could try that.
So...
It seems very ambitious.
Yeah, I know. But I'm a pilot.
I thought maybe you might go for something more navigatory in the sense of, might you be able to hone your ability to see where the connection might be? But control would be even better, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be better. What I'd like to do is what I'm aiming for, and I'm realizing this is a real fucking long shot, but I'll tell you what I would like to do, and you can tell me how I might go about trying to do such a thing.
I can already tell you it's a Cthulhu mythos, Roll.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Because what I would like to do is to try to pilot another creature who is connected to me through the spores.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's give us a
Cthulhu mythos.
A reverse bioengineering Cthulhu mythos.
Give you a Natalie from our last Blade Runner scenario roll.
Well, I failed it, but you know what? Can I push a Cthulhu mythos?
Yes, you could push it, but I would warn you that to do so is to invite the spore to take control should that pushed roll fail. And because you're being active in relation to a thing that is actively trying to control you, essentially, anything that you were going to be doing would end up with a penalty die anyway because of this push. If you'd succeeded the first time round, maybe not. So that may seem a little harsh, but I think it's the audacity of what you're attempting. But ultimately, yeah, you could push it if you wanted to.
Okay, if I failed it.
How badly have you failed it?
Yeah, terribly.
Terribly, but not like 100 or anything like that.
Oh, not a fumble, just
Not a
really
fumble.
bad.
Just really bad. Your reaching imagination opens you up to the spores, and you feel this kind of intense rush of gases into you, and I think it's enough to encourage the mygo in the trees to just show itself slightly. It just leans forward in the half light of the torch, the moon, fading sunlight, and you see a chitinous cross between the living flying lobster, the fungal nightmare, and the creator of the spores for that split second. It seems to be carrying something in two of its many arms. Could you give me a sanity check?
Yeah. That's a fail.
Yeah. So that's going to be 1d6 sand.
Yeah, it is. 3.
3. So, but we're okay, aren't we? Because that's only...
So I've lost a total of 5.
5 today, but I think that's not a fifth, is it? That's not a...
No, a fifth would be 8.
Yeah. So I think we're right. But it's but as an involuntary act, I think you drop your torch.
Okay.
And you sort of you lurch against the side of the house, and that crashing sound is probably enough to alert Bunyan and the other person around the front. And are you going to do anything in that? Although you've had your involuntary action, you've not gone insane.
Well,
so I saw this. I've seen this creature in the tree.
Yeah, just above the tree line, hovering on these membranous wings. I mean, it still has this sort of fungoid aspect to it. I mean, it's plastic, if you see what I mean. It's of a reality that it's not phasing in and out of time and space, but there's something dreadfully off about it. It has too many arms. It's a massive rugose insect, chitinous, however you say it. It's got mandibles, and it's a horrifying thing to look at. So maybe we'll cut across to Bunyan. But I'm not trying to rob you of agency. We'll come back. These are simultaneous actions, but with Bunyan.
So you've heard this kind of crash against the side, and a kind of, and the torch has dropped, and a light is scattered on the other side. You're pretty sure that's Loman.
So, what I've seen in the tree is otherworldly, clearly otherworldly.
It's incomprehensible, and it appears to have flown up there.
And
I just shout. I want to shout, Loman! What do you see?
it's impossible for me to answer that question.
I know. That's why I asked.
Do I get a sense that what I'm looking at is malevolent?
I've gone beyond all rational thought, Venkman. I can't express what I'm looking at. Whatever it is Egon says at the top of the fucking tower. It's one of my favourite lines.
I think I want to shoot at it.
Yeah. So are you going to spray wild?
I think yes. Yes.
Okay, so roll your 3 shots. I don't think it's a cool, calculated single.
No. Oh, hang on.
Well, if I hear the first shot go off, all I'm going to do is carry Natasha over to the car, and then head back with
Natasha's at the back of the building.
You've come round the front.
You're around the front now, confronted by Winter.
Oh, I see.
You've got Winter at the front in your sort of aim.
Fuck's sake, man. That's 3 misses.
3 misses. That's unlucky, man. Again. But with the first shot, Loman's clearly firing, and you can hear sort of his voice shouting into the dark, or is the spreading dark. Bunyan, as you bring your gun up, there's a whirl of clothing as something begins to unveil itself just short of the overhanging awning of the porch itself. You realise that it wasn't quite underneath it was still in the light of the moon, and this insectoid fungus appears. It's about 8 foot tall, and it has multiple arms, and it's sort of unveiling itself right in front of you.
Shoot the cunt, shoot it.
So simultaneous to your gunfire, could you also give me a sanity check? So if we go for gunfire first, if it's involuntary, or if you'd like to not fire, that's okay too.
My instinct is to fire with the gun I have currently equipped, but I will have 72 on sanity, which is a fail.
So let's see what the Thompson does.
Oh right, yeah. Where's my Thompson? Fucking hell, yeah.
I didn't look it up.
I mean, the Thompson is a 17 on 66.
Ooh. So it's not quite a kind of impale double damage or anything like that, but
no.
So this,
but it's my Thompson is 1d10 plus 2. I think is the.
But then it's about the number of shots you fire, right?
Yeah, quite.
And because it's semi-automatic, so we get.
I can pull it up in front of me right now if it's helpful.
Yeah, I think it probably is. I think I know where this is headed.
Yeah.
Submachine guns, Thompson, firearms, 1d10, uses per round, 1, 2, or full auto.
Were you spraying the clip?
I mean, I'm going full auto. But,
Before the horror of your 1d6. Let's roll the 1d6 sanity so we know that what follows.
Yeah.
Because you were committed to your action. I think it's fair to say that you would squeeze the trigger.
Totally. I think either way I am. Yeah. That's a 3.
3 sanity plus the 2 you've already lost. 5, is that looking like
3 plus 5?
3 plus you've lost 2 today, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Only 1, I think, actually. Only 1. Yeah, so I think you've only lost 4 sanity, actually, technically. It's a good roll.
Yeah.
So I think you're fine, aren't you? So I think the involuntary action is you scream. And you're just shooting wild at this thing. You're emptying the clip into it. So I suspect that is 1d10 plus 2 for every shot. Is that
which is up to 20. I'm not sure what the automatic weapon rules are.
It's going to be horrific. I think I'm going to say this. The first few shots hit, and kind of bright green liquid pumps out of the body of this thing. And also orange spores start to kind of pump out too. So as you continue to fire and track it as it's trying to fly away across the sky, unfortunately, Loman, you see it flying up as Bunyan is nailing it with this Thompson, and then you see the silhouette of a second one and a third one up above joining it, but the middle one, which was pretending to be Winter, sort of starts to just crumple and fall down into the ground and crashes onto the ground, and is still being shot as the gun is being emptied. But the spores hit both of you, and you get this rush of information, because this is mygo fungus. It is of Yuggoth, and you have a scattered sequence of images of a smartly dressed man in old-fashioned clothes out by a stone in the forest, and he brings down these bat-winged flying cows that begin to become clear that they are these insectoid fungus things. And he starts to try and deal with them. He's called them, and you begin to realise that he's Carrington Carstairs, and he's called them here. And then time passes, and then he comes back, and there's a thing that he tries to bargain with, which is ancient and lives in the woods beyond, and it's over 10 feet tall, and it's like this kind of, it's like a god. It's a blue-eyed, humming god, like a walking tree, but it's like an Indian, but it's older than any Indian you've ever seen, and it bars him, and it bars the things that he's made a deal with. So then he goes back to the creatures, and these kind of weird insectoid fungus things give him bottles, these weird grey cylinders, and he drinks from them. He travels to wild places, and they warn him that the connection that he has with them cannot travel through time and space. He will be destroyed by drinking this stuff. And then it all begins to fade away. I think at that point we should cut away to the back porch, where
you tease.
Natasha Rulyova becomes aware, in the fragmentary manner in which consciousness can return through light and sound. You will become aware of a powerful drum rat-tatting the very rhythm of destiny. The last thing that you saw was the preternaturally extended hand of Rasputin, seemingly offering you a way out of this slightly hellish, rat-infested, orange spore-infested cellar. And you bravely refused the hand of well, let's face it, the corruptor, as you believe he may well be. No one ever said it squarely, but a devil? Who knows? A demon? Certainly in the Greek sense, a daemon, a demonic force of power and will. You'd rejected that. It had cost you everything. You'd collapsed, and now you can hear this heavy drumming somewhere behind the house. And for a moment you feel like you're in one of those celluloid wonders that the Americans love so much, and that this is a story of the Westerns, and these are the drums of the Indians in the deep woods, and then it comes to an abrupt halt, and you can just hear underneath it a strange buzzing sound, and maybe something that sounds like human breath.
It's probably me.
It's very dark. You have your bag. You feel stiff and a little sore. But the last thing you remember, you were in the cellar, but now you're in the slight protection of the porch. What would you do?
I think try to sit up, see how badly I'm hurt, if badly.
The central body hinge feels sore, but it works.
Yes, if the hinge works, this is a good sign. I think I will.
Russian sayings.
It translates
the hinge works,
as,
we will be fine.
if the hinge is good, all will be well. I think I want to look around me, see if I can find the guys. Are they with me? And if they're not, then I want to head towards the sound, but carefully.
Could you give me a listen check? And while you're rolling, just hold the result for me in your mind's eye.
Yes.
Loman, as your consciousness sort of seems to come out of the grip of the spore's information, and indeed, therefore, you begin to wonder maybe some other kind of weird cerebral information that you're getting from these creatures, these hovering, buzzing nightmares. Do you say anything? Or are you silent about your work?
Is Allagash sort of... he's right down the other end of the porch, right? Right down the other end of the house.
I mean, it's 10 meters. It's not... I mean, you call it right down. You could run to him and be with him very, very quickly. But obviously, you don't... You're poised in a moment. The only thing that's moving faster than any of your... all three of your minds at this point are the wings and the buzzing sound that are working at a supernatural rhythm beyond human comprehension. It makes you think of a cloud of flies multiplied with an angel's power.
So, I mean, I feel really, obviously, what I've just experienced, what I've just learned is kind of terrifying, and I already wanted to know less, and I just know more. All I can do is back up against the house, get my back right against the house, and try and calm my breathing.
Well, as you do that, you realise there's a sort of balustraded porch area that you could might provide a bit of cover. And I think in your position, your instincts are, and also it's got a tiny roof over it, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
as you begin to become conscious of the moon, and this thing swinging round like a sweet, heavy wasp, magnified on a horrible scale.
What are those? It's really making me think of what are those things? They're like half hornet, half moth.
Oh, good! What a great description.
Brown fuckers.
Add in a bit of mushroom. God. And you've got what we're talking about.
Do you mean like a cockchafer?
Oh, fuck that.
I'm sorry.
A cockchafer.
Beg your pardon.
Like a maybug. A maybug.
Oh yes.
Big fucking.
You can hear them land, can't you?
They're enormous.
Oh, what, the green beetle?
No, not the green one. I'll send you a picture. They're gross. Yeah. Really horrific. Yeah. And they grow in from grubs under the ground, and then
thick.
I mean, they're worse than anything in Lovecraft. Oh. Anyway, that's what I'm imagining, like a man-sized cockchafer.
Oh, just the idea of the noise has put a shiver through me.
So yes, I on realising that the sort of balustrade is there, I get up. I don't know whether it's easy to get to the stairs. I don't want to be moving too far, and maybe I can just sort of vault to the balustrade and get under the porch.
I think you have to find your own next choice. Allagash, do you say anything in this?
Well, I wanted to say...
second.
Here, Lawman. Any good with one of these? And I take the rifle off my shoulder and chuck it across to him.
I don't know what I could possibly say in response to what I've just experienced.
I love it. That is what you hear, Natasha Muliova. In that moment, you hear this high, strange, overly sweet-bodied buzzing, like a hummingbird gone homicidal and fungoid.
And then that's just Allagash.
And that's just Allagash. And then
like
you hear
a hummingbird gone fungoid. That's just
fungal, homicidal and fungal. So, Natasha, I'm gonna go with you, even though there's a physical decision to be decided by the other two. But I think just because technically you were waking up as the bullets were stopping, and you kind of got credit to move. It's very, very dark now.
Yes.
Darker than when you went in. It's the very last of the gloaming is all you can see by. If there was a physical action, what would you do? Go back into the house, pull your gun, run down to the cellar, run into the trees.
Pull my gun.
Pull your gun. I'll give you that for free.
Oh, thank you.
I'm generous like that.
And then I think I'd hug the wall, crouching, and head towards the sound of Allagash.
So the quickest way is straight out and left and hugging the wall that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing that. Are you doing it stealthily?
Yes.
Or are you moving as fast as you can?
Stealthily.
Could you give me a stealth check?
Could do.
And just hold the result for me while I cut over to these two
Yes, sir.
simultaneously. Just because we know what the decision that Lohman's trying to make is, I'm going to go with him first, even though I suspect that may not be Deck's order. But Lohman, are you going to try and run to the front entrance, and then come in sort of without any daring athletic leaps, or are you going to try the athletic leap over?
I think I'm in my. I'm going to try the athletic leap because I just want to be under the porch as soon as possible. I don't want to be running in the open under the sky with these things buzzing around.
I sympathise.
Wow, Assistant Professor, you're my hero.
It's this like wanting to retreat, basically, scampering, clambering, leaping, whatever it is.
Before you get like a celestial barb in the back.
I'll give you jump with a bonus, or a straight dexterity check.
Well, definitely a straight dex check, please.
Who's putting points into jump? Psychos.
Wait, some dancer characters, mate.
That's very true. Psychos, like I said.
Oh,
so jumpist.
Points. Yeah, that's a success on my
Massive
dex.
jumpist.
I have a character who
Huge
has
jumpers.
jump 60.
That's the most impressive stat I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Jump 60.
She's never going
high
to use
can you
it.
jump?
She's never going to
Like
use
10
it, clearly.
Just from
she's
standing
good at
10
it.
foot, like a pencil.
I do beg your pardon, Assistant Professor, Flight Lieutenant Charles Lohman. Chuck. Could you repeat what your result was?
Sorry, Chuck.
53 on a 55, just regular success.
Sweet. Could you describe? What Lohman does?
Yeah. So he's still holding his revolver, and he backs up to the porch and realizes it's behind him, and he's sort of glimpsing these things buzzing around, still trying to come to terms with what he's just learnt, if it is learning rather than just weird vision. And I reach behind myself, and sort of feel the height of the balustrade around the balcony, and haul myself up, like with one hand with my feet on the sort of the porch and my hand on the balcony, and then I just sort of grab hold of the balustrade and pull myself over like I'm clambering over a fence, basically, and collapse in a bit of a heap on the floor, still like trying to look out, seeing that I can see anything in front of me. So it's not very pretty. Far from it.
It's
but efficient.
It's
functional.
It's barely able to recall the mammalian grace from which we are descended.
It's an agricultural maneuver.
It's an agricultural maneuver. But I think to the Mygo, this would be a sort of like seeing a monkey move in a sort of thick soup of confusion and anxiety.
Yeah.
Their supernatural intelligence is clearly intrigued by such a maneuver, but it's effective.
Great, that's what I wanted to do. Intrigue them.
Yeah. Always intrigue them. Always intrigue the floating horrors.
Just what I wanted to do. Draw attention to myself.
Make them more interested in you.
And I'm stumbled. I've collapsed into a heap, and I'm now behind the balustrade, and I've now got both hands on my revolver, and I'm just, seeing if I can get one in my sights, basically.
I think I'll give you that as a like climbing over and then jumping down, and then hold the two hands. Hold. That sounds a little bit like you're going to take a bead. So I could give you an aim.
I love that. I love that.
As the completion of what you're doing this turn.
That'd be very kind. Thank you.
Now, so one
Probably
of them
fair
is...
to say to disregard my last thing. Because if I've just seen him vault over that and aim a revolver, I'm not going to be trying to throw him a rifle. There's too many obstacles.
That is true. Crap, yes, you did do that, didn't you?
Well,
no.
I mean,
it was probably a simultaneous instinct, but I think it's fair to say this happens first, and where I might be on the verge of doing that.
Well, I'll tell you what. No, because it was simultaneous. I tell you what. Let's. Could you both roll luck?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, oh god, I'm not going to pass. Well, I mean, what I was going to say is, if you say, "Do you know how to use this thing?" before you throw it, I'm just going to say no.
Do you know how to use one of these? Do you know how to use one of these?
We could go.
I'm better with the 45.
Let's see how the luck roll goes, and then we'll.
I failed my luck roll.
I failed my luck as well.
I love it. Okay, so not only does he say no, so you also hear that, Natasha. Do you know how to use it? Do you know how to use it?
I'm better with the 45.
It's better with the 45.
Believe it or not, having just missed every shot.
And then I'm going to roll luck for the rifle.
Oh fuck. If you fumble this and it blows my head off.
The rifle just lands, but you hear this kind of skitter of something bouncing off things. So the rifle is now where Loman was on the right-hand side.
Great.
Outside.
Perfect.
But hey, spread the weapons around. On which point, Natasha, could you roll luck for me? Because you were in possession of a shotgun, and there's a chance Allagash brought it up.
Diddly-dum, diddly-dum, diddly-dum-dum.
And you had reloaded your shotgun, I remember. Because, as had... The assistant professor had reloaded his pistol before departure from the cellar.
It's a fail,
Very
I'm
well.
afraid.
But it crosses your mind as you're sneaking. How well are you sneaking, do you think?
Really? Oh, I snuck so freaking well.
Is that because you
on a
rolled
42.
95 to 100? Okay, right, nice. Yeah, all those special parcels have obviously been paying off recently.
No.
Well, they're full of invisibility serum. Or...
We get a lot of those in the post office, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Pretty sure they were available in that Bangor store, weren't they, as well? Anyway, a long time back now, those 10-foot poles, they would have been so useful. Okay, group luck check for the two of you in front. Who's got the lowest luck? It's you, isn't it, Loman?
Yeah, mine's 20 now.
Could you roll against 20?
I'm going to be using mine more. I've still got loads of luck.
Fail.
Okay, so you may recall that one of the other two Mygo seemed to be carrying a bulky object. That is the one that is closest to you, Loman. And it swings it round impossibly fast, and there is an awful negative sound, like a... I don't know. It's like a seismic charge being amplified through a toilet cistern being opened, and the Foley effects team from 1979 is going to discover that.
Stick some dubstep in it.
But that's the future. Right now, you hear this kind of weird, otherworldly sound, and a black rectangle of the void reaches down towards you. Would you like to dodge?
Yes.
Take its hand.
Jump in.
I think that's a good call. It's like a kind of, imagine a gun firing a corridor of black.
I don't want to imagine that, thanks. But the problem is...
I'm imagining it's like someone's done a poo in my brain.
John Wick meets 2001: A Space Odyssey.
If you don't dodge, if you don't dodge, I'll still give you a shot.
I don't think that's going to help me. I'm going to fail my dodge. So I'm just going to think if there's anything else I can do. There isn't. Oh, I haven't. That's an extreme success. 0-2.
Nice.
Oh my word.
Yes.
Okay, right. So importantness.
It's the first time I've rolled something good all game. Oh god, if I was going to succeed on anything, it was that, wasn't it? I don't want to get sucked into the void. Fine.
Which way do you go, left or right?
So
You could go
if I'm
over the
standing-
balustrade, or you could go deeper onto the balcony.
So I'm thinking that currently I'm right in the corner, right?
Yes.
On the corner of the. So I could either jump back over onto the floor, which I don't want to do. So I'm gonna kind of and I've got my gun. I'm gonna my military training sort of comes back to me
Yes.
like instinct, and I'm gonna sort of roll along the balcony. So I'm moving towards the middle of the balcony.
It's beautiful.
Now this does look good.
Yes.
It's sort of like a judo combat roll, and I come back up on one knee and swivel, and like my gun's still up.
I like it,
pointing at
yeah, and I think when we come back to you, there might be an opportunity to see whether there's a chance to keep that aimed shot.
Well, I
In my
would
head,
like
you
to
just
draw
look
your
like-
attention to the fact that I rolled a 0-2 on my Dutch.
In my head, you still look like Alan Partridge.
Do you know
sort
what?
of doing
That's
the
a-
opening shots from Bond.
There might be a touch of that. But I think with the 0-2, you're absolutely right. It was such a good result. Let's give you the aim. You've held the aim. You've rolled
you.
away.
That's kind.
I mean, after your attempt to come around the house and try and shoot some things,
Yeah.
and your rat fight,
I could do with a break.
you needed some successes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Allagash,
Yeah.
you've got 30
So
rounds left. There's a chitinous flying lobster made up of mushroom and insect.
yeah.
I used to date him.
Yeah.
Imagine that with a bit of garlic butter.
You say that out loud, I think, as its proboscises, I don't even know how to say that, enter into the moonlight for the first time, and you see two of its claws that look surprisingly like lobster claws come up, and it's clearly planning on a dive bomb attack on you. It doesn't look like it's.
I know how to kill a lobster, flying or not. I've already chucked the rifle, so that's away, but I've still got the submachine gun. I'm going to go for a full burst. I'm thinking, I've got 30 left, right?
Mash
In the
it.
barrel.
You've got 30.
I'm
yeah.
just going to go all
Mash
at
it.
So you could do
Yeah.
6, 12, 18, 24. So you could do the full 5 volleys. I mean, obviously, 4 and 5, you're not going to hit anything really. Well, I mean, 3 is a question.
I can use luck, can't I?
You can use luck to affect your combat roll, yes. But you can't push the roll.
No. But I've got a lot of luck, and I just want to get this thing out of the sky. So I think I'm going to risk it and go 30. I'm just going to, hold it in, brace into my chest.
So technically, as you're pulling a trigger is faster, as we recently discovered. Pulling a trigger is faster than a melee attack. It's trying to use a melee attack, so you gain a plus 50 dexterity. So what's your dexterity? Can I just double check?
It is. It's not great. It's 40.
So you're on a 90. So you are actually faster than it. So that's good.
Okay.
It's very fast, but you're just faster. And it surprises you with how close it's coming. But if you're committed to your action,
I mean,
I will give you this.
I guess how fast are we talking? Is this is it like a? Am I confident that I'll hit it, or is it that fast that I'm like?
Yeah, I mean, it might try and dodge, but you don't know what its capacity for that is. But there's one thing I will give you, which is, you've been around the block, and you're in the Robert E. Howard context of gaming, you're a super fighter. You've been in fights. You've got experience. You're grizzled.
Yeah. Especially shootouts.
Could you give me an idea check?
Yeah, that's a good one. Because as Danann, I'm now thinking back to when I first read Guerrilla Warfare by Che Guevara, and the fact that bursts always work far better than spray. As the actual central bishop. What was I?
What a mashup! Che Guevara to the actress and the bishop. Now that's a scenario.
What was I rolling for again? Intelligence.
An idea check.
intelligence?
Yeah, an idea check.
Idea check. Okay, 60. Oh, okay, so I do succeed.
Yeah.
66 on a 70. It's not the best idea, but
If you hit this thing at this range, that means spores, and you have this intense sensation that you've been exposed to quite a lot of spore.
yeah.
in the loosest of game terms.
But at the same time,
At the same time, what else can you do?
If I'm aiming a burst, I always hold my breath to steady, and I never release the breath until afterwards. Anyway, so the legitimate shooting technique there.
I also think that's the advice given to frontline NHS workers in the face of COVID. Just hold your breath while you're dealing with COVID patients. And you'll be
While
fine.
you're doing the CPR, yeah.
So you should be fine, basically.
I'm gonna go. I think I realised that, but then surely that makes me want to get rid of it all the faster. Because if I'm going for bursts and I'm chasing it and everything, it's going to be releasing spores all over the fucking shop. I want to bring it down quick.
I mean, it's just, if you bring it down again the way that you did the last one, it'll spore all over you, if you pardon the expression.
I think that's going to happen regardless, right?
Gotcha.
What's the option?
I think you're in.
It's like the panic when you're in a car on the motorway and there's a wasp suddenly.
Right.
You know, like your logical mind goes slightly out the window. I might know that I'm about to get covered in whatever, but like, I think the realistic thing is to just attack it.
Let's see that first volley. 6 bullets.
So,
He rolls once for each volley.
Once for each 6-bullet volley.
Right, but the penalty dies increase.
But I was gonna ask whether you did actually want to do the full the full 5 volleys, or whether you wanted to hold off. Because I mean, like, bear in mind there is another my go.
Well, there's another thing. I just need to slot it into the gun. Might take a turn, but
That is true. You have got a second clip, haven't you?
okay. Well, I think maybe a full 5 in one go is me just showing off. A panic of a wasp in a car on a motorway. Maybe I'll go for 3.
I think 3 volleys is impressive. There's still 2 penalty dice on the second on the third volley. Yeah.
You know.
Let's see what that first one does.
Let's go. Let's do this. Oh, 13.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, on
That's
a
a hard.
66.
That's a hard, isn't it? No.
Extreme?
Yeah.
13 on a 66 is just an extreme.
Yeah,
It's extreme
it
success.
is.
So that's piercing damage, right?
Piercing. Okay, so you do full damage for the first volley.
Come on, you lobster! You motherfucking cockroaches.
Let's just check to see how tough these poor things are. These poor creatures.
Oh yeah, this,
You monster.
the bullets just phase through them. I know, they're just poor. They've emerged for the first time in 10 years to mate and then die, and I've just...
It's our time! It's our...
Finally! Oh, the sun!
waited so long!
All shots hit the target. The first half of the shots, 3, impale. Oh my god.
Oh shit! That sounds pretty dramatic.
They do have armor,
Okay.
so
Chitin, or... Is it chitin? Chitin?
It's clearly chitin, isn't it? I always get that wrong. Sorry.
so the first, so it's 10 plus 2 for the first 3 shots. You're causing 36 damage with your first 3 bullets.
That's not even with your roll on top. I'm going to hold the roll on top for now.
That's beautiful, that.
So on each 12, they get armor off.
Not tell shit, armor off.
Armor off, you didn't hear. Okay, so the first bullet goes in around the pelvic girdle. The second bullet is climbing up. The second bullet ruptures the abdomen. Third is the mid-chest, and that's when the bright green spray comes.
The thorax.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But the fourth goes deep into the lungs.
and that's when the spore starts to spread. And the fifth goes up into the proper chest, and the sixth goes through the throat. And this thing just, unlike the other one that kind of fought up and then crashed down, this thing just spins backwards, hits tree, slides down it into the dark,
Oh god. Like kicking a puffball
like kicking a
that's
puffball.
overripe.
Obviously, normally you'd roll the dice on top of the impale, so you're doing double damage, but that isn't necessary. You've absolutely done it.
It's overkill.
It's over. It's all over.
With that shot. That's 6 bullets gone. As you pass the gun across the empty space to try and hit the other one, you lose a whole
You
load
lose
of
more
ammo.
bullets. Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I'm going to say you lose your second volley and move it over.
That's fair. Also, I'm assuming I'm aware enough not to be passing through towards these guys.
Yeah, well, he's off further over to the left. So if you did lose sanity for some strange reason,
But
such
the
as
other...
a cloud of spores,
I think he should have to. I mean, I don't want to end up getting shot, but I think he should have to roll for that second volley, saying, "I'm aiming to shoot it in the air."
You have to roll for each single one. So this is still your firearms check.
Okay.
Still your turn. Ruliova's. I mean, I should have given her a bonus for her sneaking, but she aced it anyway. So she's coming round to see this muzzle flash. Have you got the drum load, classic gangster, or have you got the magazine load?
No, it's
military?
the
drum load
circle.
Yeah, so you can see this kind of...
It's the Bugsy Malone.
The crazy Bugsy Malone flashes that come out of it, like fire out of the muzzle, lighting up the night sky. But also, Ruliova, you see something hovering off to the left, which is horrifying. But you can also work out that what Allagash is trying to do is he's trying to bring these shots in on target. So can you roll your firearms again for me, or submachine gun skill?
Yeah. Oh, 44. So a success, not a.
And that's all you need. So those 6 bullets go through. It sort of shifts in the air, and this weird black volume that's coming out of this odd machine that it's holding. So it's got 2 hands holding it, but then the 2 big claws are still free. It's kind of 2 weird, misshapen little fungoid fingered hands, slightly penile from that glimpse there.
Joseph.
Why not? It's sort of it's trying to do what you're trying to do, and it's going to try and drag its black thing across.
What's it shooting? What's it? The thing doing?
Okay, Loman, this thing swerves, and because of your expert dodge, you're just out of the range of it, but it sort of sweeps across the edge of your feet, and you get this strangest of sensations that it is not. Put it this way: it's not destroying the wood. It's not corrupting the earth. But you're right to think you don't want to be in this thing's beam. You get an intense sense of stillness as it's passing, like an absence of time.
I don't like that. It's wrong.
But meanwhile, in this microsecond, could I have a sanity check from Ruliova simultaneous to final volley? Now then, this is with 2 penalty dice. The third volley.
You need to roll 3 times.
I need you to pass 3 times. You can keep your units.
Yeah.
Sanity check passed. Strong pass.
Okay, pass. Oh god, this is intense.
This will help.
No, that's fine.
2 passes.
2 passes and a third on a hard pass.
Oh, nice.
You are the opposite at the moment of the Loman experience coming around the house. That is astonishing. So the hard pass means half of your bullets hit. I know it sounds intense because you'd hope they'd be all, but like by that time this thing's kicking like a mule.
And it's dark.
So
it's a massive success.
you've got 3 bullets.
My hero.
I mean, this is huge. This is huge because this started very badly. This battle. The spore is admittedly going to hit you all, but we'll deal with that in a second. It's only fair to let the violence finish first. Could you roll for your 3 bullets that hit?
Oh yeah.
D10 plus 2.
So 7, 4, 9.
So
9,
6,
11.
and 11.
Yeah.
Okay. So
right. I'll let the
they do have armor. So I think you've done it. I only think you've gone and done it.
I only think he's gone and
Bloody
done it.
He's only gone and blown the bloody bugs off. But we are all about to inhale deadly mushrooms, so I mean, whether or not it's actually done much.
Potato.
Yeah. Okay, so this thing tries to walk the fire over to you, but bullets are whittling it, and it sort of the beam therefore kind of goes wild. So if could Ruliova and Allagash Bunyan, Natasha Ruliova and Allagash Bunyan, could you please roll luck?
Oh yeah. I succeed.
Succeed.
Die.
Oh, fail.
Fail.
65 on a 50.
Oh.
The corridor goes up and past you, and Allagash, you sort of instinctively just kind of lean over to one side. The smoke coming from the stench of cordite as this creature kind of spirals around, and it goes up and the beam is spiraling around. It's trying to fly off, but it's kind of stuff is oozing out of it, and orange puffs of spore are coming out, and it just kind of there's this awful screaming sound that goes into the trees, way off to the right-hand side of the house. But Rulyova, a part of the beam hits you, and you feel your whole body freeze.
Oh God.
An intense cold travels up. It gets you in the let's say, in the left side, and just as it passes through, you feel frozen to the spot as the whole of the left side goes into paralysis, and you find your body's kind of sliding backwards, but it just touched a part of your head, and you begin to see a vista of stars opening up like a corridor of darkness up towards the moon.
Oh my God.
And up there, you see spiraling in the distance Mygo coming down the stair of darkness.
I'm gonna get me on there.